How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Anno 117 Pax Romana. I hope you're having a good one. I am so excited to be back. We have so much work still to do, and so I think we're just gonna get to it. Now, as it stands right now, we are a little bit short on concrete. We need 300 to get through this phase of the amphitheater construction. We don't have 300, so I think I'm gonna look into concrete production and see what we can do there. Because if we head over to, well, that's not the button I wanted to do. If we head over here to the trading post, we can actually see that we have a really good amount of limestone sitting here and a really good amount of silica sitting right here. Now, limestone and silica are both used in the production of concrete. And so what that says to me is that we might want to just get more concrete mixers. I'm not really too concerned with the ratios that we need here because we do have, how many on the island right now? If we have a look, we have 6, which are all right over here. So maybe we want more. Maybe we can get away with this without getting more of the sand pits and the limestone quarries. So at the very least, I'm coming over here. I'm building another concrete mixer. And I'm considering building another one just because I can, so I can maybe get some decent production in here. You might also notice we do have marble roads now, which has me very excited. I'm not going to play around with those just yet, but I'm absolutely going to play around with those at some points because, oh yeah, they're going to be good for the space around the amphitheater if and when it gets up and running. Now, hopefully, these 2 concrete mixers will be enough to help us out a little bit. We actually do have ongoing combat down here. That's very interesting. What is this? This is your flagship. Now that is interesting. I'm a little bit sick of you. Wind is not blowing in my favor, but I'm kind of wondering, can I just send all my boats in there and maybe take out your flagship just while we're in the neighborhood? It kind of looks like I could. I mean, he's doing a little bit of damage, but I think this is like the only boat that the guy has. So this works for me, and he's changed his target as well. That's kind of mean. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking this flagship deserves to be sunk, is what it deserves. And there we go. Let's go ahead and get you guys back in formation across there. And I think at some point today, I kind of want to go down here, and I kind of want to see if we can siege this island again. We run the risk of losing my entire blockade of ships, but I think that could be very, very cool to do. Just, it's a very big maybe, is all I'm going to say on that one. It's a very, very big maybe. Now, another thing that I would like to do with concrete is actually go into our tier 4, our patricians, and try to build the temple. Now, I don't care too much about extra belief on an island, and Nisus is doing pretty good for belief at the moment, but the extra population could be nice. It is going to require 25 concrete, which is kind of a pain, but it's a very cool looking building. And my thought process is I build it in here sort of facing this theater, and it's going to be this beautiful, big, luxurious area that we have with this new building. So let's give that a bit of a shot, which unfortunately means that all of these buildings need to go away, and then we need to move you into this space. We need to redo this little stretch of road here and get rid of this little stretch of road here while we move this guy into that space. And then basically all of this needs to go as well. Now we have some buildings in here that I've placed, so I think this market and this tavern can absolutely move just while we're in the area, so they can come down here. So you can go, I want to say here, should be fine, and then you can go right about there, and that should be fine. And I think I can put a couple of buildings next to it. I totally can, which is great news. Now, what we can also do is take these guys out, and we are going to take out all of these sections of road right here. We can rebuild this little bit, and then hopefully, if I were to do this, I think we can fit the temple in that space, which would be kind of amazing. We totally can. Now, again, we don't have the concrete needed for this, but we can sort of use planning mode to get an idea of what this space is going to look like, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. We can also go across here with a nice section of road. We can get a plaza in front of this whole thing. And I do think eventually we can probably do some marble roads around this. So that's kind of cool. This is going to be kind of neat. I think it's a really cool looking building, even as a blueprint. So I'm definitely excited about this. I just think the concrete production, especially for the amphitheater, since it's consuming all of it, is going to be, well, all consuming basically. But that's okay. We'll get there eventually. So in other news, I've been considering getting rid of all of the walls that we have around here and all of the gates as well, and replacing them with actual strategic walls and gates, just because that's a thing we can actually do, and I think it would sort of make sense. So clearing all of these guys out of here gives us the option to go into our military buildings and get the actual stone gates that can go here. I mean, we need concrete for this, which is going to kind of suck. So this is going to take a little bit of time to actually come together, but we can do this. And I think it's kind of neat that we can do this. And I think it sort of makes, oh, I wish I could do that. That would be such a cool little thing to do. But at the very least, we can do this. We can bring it up to here. We can sort of connect these guys all together. We, again, don't have the concrete for this, but that's totally fine. Can I just drag this along and fill in all of those spaces in one click? Absolutely not. Okay, that's fine. And you know, I think this is going to look kind of cool. It's technically going to be defensive. Are you seriously back down here fighting me with what? That? No. What are you fighting? What were you fighting me with? This? Interesting. You know, I think I'm going to try this. I think I'm going to have some fun here. Is what I'm going to do. I want all of my ships to come out here, and I want all of them to go for this guy, is what I want. I'm not 100% sure that this is going to be a good idea. I'm not 100% sure that I want to send all of my ships into that island, because I'm relatively convinced that sending all of my ships in there is probably going to have quite a few of them sink. But I'm just curious. That's kind of where I am with this. I want to see if just overwhelming numbers will be enough to just stop this guy from existing. Basically, that's kind of the idea. And this is quite a few ships. Now, we do have a bunch of them that actually serve specific purposes. I don't remember exactly which ones they are. I probably should have named them. But I mean, look at this. Look at this. Absolutely love it. I think the only thing I'm going to do, just because I can, because I'm sick of having to go get another one, I'm going to send my flagship back home, because I don't think going after that island with the flagship is a good idea. I also don't love that this guy is he's seizing an opportunity here is what he's doing. That's bold. Okay, I see what he's about. You know what? Suddenly I don't really care what happens here. If I have to rebuild my entire fleet, I'm going to rebuild my entire fleet. But for now, we are going in here. We're going to just try to take out absolutely everything. Whether or not we can, I really have no idea, but we're going to try. I want to move my ships in here, and I want to get them into that little cove. And we're just going to see, I mean, we're doing pretty quick damage to this guy, which is great news. So if we can just light these things up and take them out super quickly, like we did to that one, and hopefully like we can do to this one. Yeah, somehow I think this might go my way, which is great news. Let's try taking this one out, if that's going to be at all possible, which, again, it appears to be. Yeah, we're kind of melting these. We are going to lose some ships in the process of doing this. This is an absolute guarantee that we're going to lose some ships here, especially since I've kind of got these ones right in the middle of the lion's den. We are going to get absolutely melted here. But I think I'm willing to make that sacrifice. It is a sacrifice I'm very much willing to make. So we'll take this one out a little bit quicker, please. That would be good. In fact, what if I move these guys right into the cove? I don't know if the game really knows what to do with this many ships in such a small space, but it's hopefully going to figure it out. Let's move in here if we can. That would be kind of good to get into this space. We've got a lot of damaged ships right there, but I'm hoping that we can pull this off. If we can take that one out, That would be amazing. If we can take that one out, that would also be kind of amazing. We're not doing as much damage to that one as I would like, though, which has me a little bit concerned. We're not doing as much damage to these ones either, and we actually do have fewer ships left than I kind of thought we would. So this is kind of bad. We're kind of getting a little bit more melted than I thought we would. Which, oh no, there we go. We're back to the melting of the turrets. That's good. If we take this one out, oh my god, the game's really struggling a little bit. Okay, we're getting there, I think. How many ships have I got left? Not as many as I came in with, that's for sure. Oh man, this is rough. This is definitely rough, but I think maybe I should have come in with like a smaller fleet, because half of these guys I don't even know if they're actually firing, which is really upsetting. He's got so many turrets as well. It's kind of wild. There's a lot in here. Like there's so many left, but I think we might be able to pull this off. Might. He's got like 3 there. He's got 1 right here that we're about to take out. If we can take that one, if we can move in, that might help as well. This one needs to go. Like urgently needs to go. This one also urgently needs to go. I really don't have a lot of ships left compared to what we had. This is actually kind of bad. I'm really surprised at how this has gone. Oh, now he's sending ships out. I see how it is. All right. Can I deal with that? No, he's sending that ship out. Okay. All right, let's take this out if we can, which I think we totally can. I don't love that he's sending a fleet of ships out. I'm not a huge fan of that. That has me concerned because I don't have anything in the high seas to defend against a fleet of ships right now. But by the looks of it, we're actually managing to deal with his ships in here, which is good. We're really not very well off right now, but we've got further in here than we ever have, which is certainly progress. That's gone. Can I take this boat out before it gets too much further? We kind of can, I think. No, that's all right. Let's go a little further in. We're really low on ships now, but can I take out that turret? Is that going to be an option? No, the entire fleet's getting annihilated, basically, is the gist of this. That's unfortunate. I'm sure there are strategies to this. I'm sure there's methods to the madness that I've got going on here. But unfortunately, I think all I've done is open the seas to this guy's forces again. And we have unrest down here, which is also not exactly ideal. So here's what I'm thinking. I have a ship in here. I thought I had more ships. Oh, wait, no, I would have sent the new ship down. Okay. Let's send this ship around here. And let's get some new ships going. Because we're absolutely going to need them. And I think what we're going to do is queue up some of the siege engines so that we can kind of deal with that. Is this one of my boats? This is one of my boats. Interesting. Can I send it after this guy's boats here? Is that going to be an option? I'm kind of hoping that it is. He's doing a little bit of a drive-by there. That's fine. I mean, we did good damage, to be fair. I'm kind of wondering if I could get in there and maybe take out that one boat that's sitting there. We took out a ton of his turrets, right? We took out an absolute ton of them. So, I mean, this ship is going to be sacrificed. That's almost a guarantee. Unless we can fire over the cliff here, which by the looks of it, we absolutely can. Okay. Well, fair enough. We are getting peppered by this other boat, which I don't love, but okay, you know what? Let's try and take this guy out. What is this boat? What have we got on this thing? I don't feel like the catapults are doing as much for me as I want them to. Like, looking at what's hitting me and looking at what's taking me out, I feel like the siege engine ships that I'm building are actually not that effective. I almost want to do the interceptors because they have the scorpions and the catapults. The siege engines are, I think, just the catapults. I think we are going to change out these interceptors. We're going to drop the catapults completely. And I'm almost tempted to go for the archers, because I think that's what I'm getting shot by. It's kind of hard to tell. In fact, can I just go down and look at one of his ships? So what has he got here? He's got archers. And then here, if I can see the ship that I'm looking for, this one has archers. If we look in here, it's archers. If we look here, it's a lot of archers. His archers are doing a lot of damage here. So I'm slightly tempted to say that the interceptor, I mean, it's going to drop the catapult. I don't mind the scorpions. I think those are okay. But I think putting the archers on there might not be a bad shout. I would almost be tempted to say that we just do that. I think that's going to be the new sort of interceptor class ship that we go for. And then for the siege engines, which annoyingly you can't customize if you don't have the parts for. That's a little frustrating. Okay. What if we head up to Augustia here, which is not doing well in terms of fire safety, but in terms of everything else, it's doing all right. Do we have any interceptor? We have a siege engine up here. So, unfortunately, we... I don't know. I don't know what way to change these out. I'm actually curious to see if my other interceptor or siege engine ships had any oars or sails down here, because these ones might actually be stronger, which would be kind of cool. I think we'll build one, we'll build two, we'll build three is what we'll do. We'll build three of those. It's going to take a while to build them, but that's all right. We'll try them out. And you know what we can also try? We can go into research and we can potentially, if I haven't done it already, start researching plated hulls, which is going to make my ships more resilient to damage. We can also start placing towers on the water. And I think the plated hulls and the towers are going to be the next two things I want to research, because that just generally should, unless it's an upgrade that I have to apply, make my ships more resilient, which is what we want and what we need. Now, when it comes to my little fleet right here, I want to send these guys down to this island. I want to just put them in like a little formation right about here, just so nothing can get into this island. I think my flagship can also have a handful of different skins. I really have no idea. Where is my flagship? There you are. So if we have a look at you, what have you got available right now? We've got, ooh. Oh, I forgot that I messed around with some of the unlocks. I like that a lot. I do like this one as well, but I kind of like this. That's very cool. That's very, very cool looking. Okay. Definitely going with the mossy flagship right there. Who are you? Interesting. You have a lot of boats escorting your trade ships. I mean, that makes sense. It really does. That absolutely makes sense. Do I have any other little skins for these different buildings? I unfortunately don't for this one. That's okay. That's not the end of the world. We can deal with that. We do have plated hulls now. Do you guys actually have plated hulls is the question. Or do I have to upgrade you? Is that a thing that I have to apply to the ships is what I'm wondering. Let's go back here and take a bit of a look. Can I modify you? Yes, that's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Okay. These interceptors then are going to need plated hulls. So they're going to have to be slower, which means they're no longer interceptors. But what do we want to slow down? The maximum speed? Probably not. Or the minimum speed. We're not doing a lot of intercepting, to be fair. So we'll bring that maximum speed down and we will put the plated hulls on here. What does that do exactly? Health goes from 2,000 to 2,700. The minimum speed goes down. The maximum speed goes down. That's really unfortunate. So this just slows the ships down massively. Keeping that maximum speed might actually be worth it. and then just dropping the ores. It's a little upsetting and a little disappointing that that's kind of the choice you have to make here, but I think this is just what we're going to go for. I think this is just how we're going to do it. Now, does the plated hull, it does consume armor, which is going to make things slightly complicated because I don't even know if we're producing armor. I don't remember. If we go and have a look in here, we do not have any armorers on the island, which is deeply unfortunate. We do have some iron mines. We do have some furnaces. We do have charcoal burners. We have tanneries. I just think that what I might do then is, because I have so much money, 1.4 million, I think we just import some iron, we import some leather, and we use that to make the armor. I think that's just what we do. We just try and maintain a really, really healthy stockpile of everything we're going to need here. It just seems like the easiest way to do this as well. So let's figure out a spot for this guy. I don't love the idea that we're going to be dropping fire safety quite considerably in whatever area we build this in, but I guess that's just going to be the way of it. I think what we'll do is build it here, and we'll build another one here. In fact, that does give us bonus income to any other buildings in the area, but I think I'm just going to keep them together for now. I'm not super concerned about that. I'm not building them for the bonus income. I'm building them for, well, I'm building them for the armor, basically. So we don't really need to worry about the bonus income. We will do some bonus fire coverage in that space. We'll do a little bit of extra fire coverage in that space. We can do a little smidge of bonus fire coverage down here and over here, perhaps, just to try and keep things nice and safe in those general areas. And I suppose, like I said, we want to import leather and we want to import iron. So I need to go to my trading post right here. We need to go to intermediate goods. We want to go to iron, which we are absolutely selling when above 75. We want to try and maintain a stock of not 750, but we'll say a stock of 200 is what we're going to do. We've also completed phase 1 of the Amphitheater, which is amazing. Let's do the same thing here. We're going to try and maintain a stock of 200 leather, maybe even 250 of both of those, just to make sure that we're doing okay. And hopefully that's going to let us start producing some iron. Now, when it comes to the Amphitheater, do I have to do anything here? I can do this. Okay, it's gone. Oh, there we go. Look at you. Oh, look at you. What do we need for this? We know. First off, I don't like that we need rope. Not a fan of that. The marble situation, honestly, probably easy enough. We also happen to need so many tier 4 residents. I hadn't thought of that. Okay. That complicates things because we don't have very many tier 4 residents. We're also not really working to make them happy right now either. So that's another thing we're going to have to do. Okay. Building this thing has suddenly just got considerably more complicated. Like considerably more complicated. I don't love that. I don't. I'm hoping we can figure out this armor situation though. I would like to build these things as quickly as I can because I really want to go back down and at the very least set up a border around this island again to stop the ships from getting out, because we do have his ships out here harassing people. I mean, he's not doing a very good job of it, but it would still be nice to stop him. Although we did just get a thing, which means in theory, if I go to construction and military, can I place towers in the water? I totally can. Okay. So we could start placing these stone towers on the water. I don't think we have any stone down here though. So down here, we don't have weapons either. Interesting. Okay, well, that makes things slightly less interesting, I guess. Let's do... Man, I don't want to consume too many weapons here. I don't think we're going to have to deal with people at this port, to be completely honest. I think we're probably fine. all things considered. Now, just thinking about it, I might actually go ahead and maybe import armor as well, which apparently, there we go. We can import it right here. How much are we talking to buy this? I wish it would tell me. We're going to try and maintain a stock of 50 is what we're going to try and do. We are producing armor, but we're not going to be producing it quick enough. We do have a ton of money, so I think we can kind of get away with this. We are still making money, quite a bit of it as well. So again, I think we can get away with this. I just, I want the armor quickly so I can build the ships quickly is basically where I'm at. Now, we can build this guy, which is good. That's, well, that's increased the city status, which is, we are now a growing monstropolis. Very much okay with that. Fire safety kind of sucks, but you know what? That's all right. That's totally fine. Let's go ahead then and upgrade. I want to upgrade these roads. I know we kind of need the marble for other things right now, but I think those roads need to be upgraded. We can upgrade a bunch of the roads in here as well at some point, but maybe those two, maybe this one. I need to behave though, because we need that marble for, well, again, this guy over here. Oh, wait, we can do this. Okay, now I'm done with the marble. now I'm done with the marble. I'm going to behave. We'll come in here though, and we'll do, I want to say some flagstone is maybe a shout. Maybe, oh, I do kind of like that against the marble, actually. That's pretty cool. We'll do some grass through the middle. We can do some grass down here, which I think I'm fine with. A structure is under attack. Where? What is going on up this way? Are you? You are. Okay. Maybe I should bring some weapons to all of my islands and set up some turrets and some towers. I don't... This opportunistic... this opportunistic so-and-so is what he is. I don't appreciate him. I'm gonna have to somehow, some way take out that island. I'm 100% gonna have to figure it out. Anyway, that's something we can worry about just a little bit later on. I think I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade all of these guys, or as many of these guys as I reasonably can, because we do need to get a ton of patrician workforce. We can upgrade these guys as well. We can upgrade you, because we have a ton of Libertas workers in here, so I think we can kind of get away with this. What do we generally need for these upgrades? We need a lot of concrete. As per usual, we need a lot of concrete. How are we looking in terms of numbers here then? We're at 568 out of 750, so actually not as many of these guys needed as I thought. The number up here apparently does not trans. I mean, that's the population's 569, the workers are 56, 43, whatever. That's fine. That works. We can actually get into construction of the amphitheater again relatively quick. And by the looks of it, we can build an interceptor. We can build 2, we can build 3 interceptors in here, which makes me very happy. It is still like a 14-minute construction, which is slightly unfortunate. It's also unfortunate that I'm relatively sure, yeah, here we can double ship construction speed if we conquer an island and generate 9,000 knowledge. Now, the knowledge part we're doing. Conquering an island, we haven't done. And I don't know that we're going to. Because as it stands right now in terms of diplomacy, I have an alliance with 2 out of the 3 other governors. I'm relatively sure we have an alliance option with you as well. So we can do this. We'll confirm the alliance, which is great. So we now have an alliance with everybody, which is great. Very much okay with that. I just, I don't know. I mean, this, first off, this annoys me. My naval power not being as good is annoying. I don't like that he's rebuilding a navy, because I checked this before I started recording, and his naval power was like 2.9. Mine was considerably higher. I wish I could get everybody to go to war. against him. I mean, I think technically we are, because we're all in an alliance. We are in a war with him. He's attacking everybody, but it would be nice if, oh, he's back up to half strength on the island as well. Hey, I'm taking out this island. I don't know how I'm doing it. I really don't. I'm not sure how we're gonna do it, but I'm taking out that island. I'm also thinking, just to make this construction process a little bit quicker, we're going to look at what we have here, which is 1 archer, 1 scorpion, and then 1 sail, 1 armor. Can I do multiple sets of armor on a ship? No, it's 1 of 1. I'm an idiot. We could do, I can do 2 scorpions. Can I then do, hold on, if I take this out of here, I can do 3 scorpions. If I take the armor out of here, I can do 4 scorpions. Now, those aren't on fire, is my thinking. These are on fire. These are definitely good for, that's ship-to-ship combat, these guys. They will take out other ships. These guys are versatile. They're useful for both naval and land assault. So doing, I think, the archers and this, and then we can throw something like this guy on here for the maximum speed. I think this does keep this guy in like that interceptor class, right? So that is still going to be our interceptor. We're gonna cancel those for a second. I'm gonna build 1. I want to look at the siege engine because we really need something that can do damage against turrets and buildings and structures. Now that's what the ship catapult is apparently for. I mean, it doesn't say that. It's best used against immobile targets for devastating results. I think I'm going to take the catapults out of there, and I think I'm going to put just 4 scorpions on this guy. Now, in saying that, maybe 3 scorpions and some armor, because if this guy is getting close to those turrets, we want it to be able to take a beating. So I might have that trade-off. Admittedly, we are looking at 20 offense versus 200. I don't know here. I don't. It feels silly to not have catapults on what I'm calling a siege engine, so maybe we'll try this. Yeah, I think we're going to try this, is what we're going to do. We'll build 1, and I think I want the 2 interceptors, maybe 2 siege engines. We'll just do 2 of each, and we'll see what happens. We're going to have to slowly rebuild the blockade. We're going to have to build it bigger and better as well if we want to go into his island and deal with him. That's going to be a whole thing, but that's okay. We will get there. Let's go ahead and upgrade you guys. And has that put us in a spot where this thing can be built yet? If we look at the numbers, it has not. Okay, that is fine. We will upgrade you guys as well. That has given us some new options, which makes me think that this is probably, yep, it is where it needs to be. That's fine. If we look at those new options for these guys, interesting. What is this? New options. I don't know what this, I think that's the, oh, that's the amphitheater thing. That's fine. What have we unlocked here? This is going to be necklaces and cloaks. Okay. So neither of these give knowledge. The cloaks do give happiness and health though, and income. In fact, both of them give income, which we don't need, but I love the idea of getting. Now to make necklaces, we are going to need a mineral deposit, of which we have some. We will need gold, which we can get from river slots. Do we have any river slots left on this island? We do not. But all that is to say that we can technically make a jeweler. We do have minerals. So this is technically doable. We could import something like gold ore and then turn it into gold here on the island. That might not be a bad idea. We could look at maintaining a stock of minerals as well. Now we do have some, I think. I think we are bringing them here from somewhere at some stage or another. we do consume them here on the island. We'll see what happens. When it comes to the cloaks, we can't actually make them here at all. That's an Albion thing. That's interesting. We also have loungers and hand mirrors as well. I really feel like I should start doing some stuff with these guys because we've done nothing with them right now. Do we have anywhere that we can get oysters from? We cannot get them from here. Can we get them from this island? We cannot get them from here. We can't get them from... Where can I get oysters? So we don't have an oyster. Do we not have oysters on any of my islands? That's slightly concerning. Do you guys have oysters? Do you have oysters? Do you have oysters? Do you have oysters? What about this one? Do none of the islands around here have oysters? Wait, hold on. This one has oysters. This little island. Oh no. Oh no. This is about the worst island that could have oysters. Does this one have oysters? It does, actually. Okay, this might be a good little island to settle. It's very, very small, but it has oysters. It has gold. It actually has minerals as well. It's actually a pretty solid little island. And then this one up here is kind of cool looking, but I think we need to send a ship up here, and I think we need to settle this island. So let's send the flagship up. We have 1.5 million. I'm very curious to see how much it's going to cost to take over this island. And also what we're going to need to do to actually harvest oysters and all sorts of things. Why are you being attacked? Really? Seriously? I'm getting really sick of this. I'm getting tired of this guy. I'm really not happy about this. So just while that ship's on the way to that island, which I think it has just actually gotten to, I want to see what else these guys want. So we're going to need a bird charmer or a tongue plucker, or we need to import those, which is also an option. We need a pig farm and a renderer, and then that can all feed into this, which can't be produced. So basically, a lot of the stuff these guys want has to be made in Albion, which is really annoying. Admittedly, this doesn't, which is fine. Does this island up here have sturgeon? It is mackerel. That's not helpful. Okay. that's fine. That's totally fine. We can make that work. We're actually gonna need, so the sturgeon will have to be caught here, which is fine. The fish gutter will have to be here because it uses tier 4 workers. The oyster bed uses tier 1 workers, so we can build that on a new island. And then this is made by tier 4. So basically the oysters will have to be caught and brought here and then combined in this guy. It'll be a whole thing, but it's doable, which is the important part. And then when it comes to all of this, it is tier 2 workers for the mineral quarry. It is tier 2 for the gold washer. It is tier 4 for the goldsmith, and presumably tier 4 for the jeweler. So we can get the minerals and the gold on the new island as well. Basically, minerals, gold, and oysters are going to be getting shipped back from this unsettled island, which is going to cost me 250,000 to settle, but that's completely fine. That is okay. Let's then get ourselves some roads here. I wasn't really expecting to be settling a new island right now, but I can work with this, is what I can do. I can totally work with this. We'll go up to here, is what we're going to do. And I think we're just going to use planning mode to lay out just a few little houses in a few little spots. We're going to go for something relatively simple here. I'm not all that concerned with making this place look all that pretty, although I do enjoy putting my markets and my taverns right in the middle of these spaces. I think that's always good to do. So we'll rotate this guy around to here. We will put our little tavern here. And then what we can do is surround you guys with a whole bunch of roads like so. We can do a little something like this, this, and this. And then that kind of gives us these spaces over here for a few more buildings. So we'll go and do exactly that here and here. We can surround those in roads as well. And we'll bring this road back down through the middle. And then I think we just do a little something like this, and that will give us a pretty solid population for this space. Now, this is a relatively minimal area in terms of where I can build things that we're going to be needing, but we can get a little fishing hut in here, which is going to need some timber, but that's all right. I would also like to get my hands on... So we're not doing sturgeon, but we are doing oysters. We're going to need timber. We're going to need roof tiles. We're going to need concrete. This thing is a considerable size, so it's going to live right there, and I think that'll be okay. We don't need anything else from the water right now, at least that I'm aware of. So I think just because I can, I'm going to double up on the oysters. I think that kind of makes sense. I think I'm also going to double up on... this guy, because I think that also makes a bit of sense. We're going to move you forward and then back a little bit, because again, I think that makes sense. And I think I'm just going to make sure that all of my workers are nicely fed. Although it would probably make sense, now that I think about it, to get a little something in terms of island storage. So if we go into our harbor buildings, we can get the depot, which actually can live... I'm going to say right there. Actually, should be fine, because then I can put another one of these guys just in there. And so that's going to give us some extra storage capacity on the island, which is great. Obviously, we're going to need to do some wood cutting out here. So let's bring a little road kind of back this way. And I think that's going to be fine. If we go into timber, we just need... I mean, this thing can kind of go anywhere, which is great. So I'm going to move it right down here. And if I can do... In fact, can I just build that? I totally can just build that. Okay. Can I just build another one if we turn off planning mode? I can build it if I just bring this guy out a little bit, which is totally fine. So we'll build another one right there. And then obviously we also happen to need the sawmill. Now, when it comes to the sawmill... it is going to take away from that one woodcutter. So actually, I'm just going to do this. And since we only need one right now, we'll do that. And my hope here is that what I can do is be a bit cheeky. Because obviously, we don't have a warehouse right now. But as we've discovered previously, we might not need one. And that's kind of the fun thing here. We might be able to be a little bit cheeky with this sawmill. Now, we are going to need a warehouse at some point, but obviously we don't have timber. My thought process here, as I've done before, is we'll put a planned warehouse right there. We have this guy, which is producing timber. Oh, hold on a minute. If I mean to strike it, what, he's got a convoy inbound? Interesting. I don't know about this. I think we're going to have to let the convoy go. We don't have enough troops to deal with that. Anyway, my thought process here is this building has a ton of timber in it now. So in theory, I can just put it here. And now that timber gets moved into storage, basically, is what we do. That feels so... That is cheating. It absolutely is cheating. But I can build that warehouse now, and now timber production is just go, which is great news. So that's 100% cheating, but I'm gonna stand by it. It works, and that's all I can do. I'm gonna put a second one of those guys out here. I am gonna do a second sawmill just down here. And that'll give us just so much timber production on this island, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now we will need to get our hands on... Oh, I forgot about these guys. Interesting. Do we have more ships under construction here? We do not. What do you guys have in terms of weapons? 2 scorpions, 2 catapults. Okay. Okay. That's not bad. What's going on down here? Interesting. All right, well, let's move these guys down to this little space, just because I think that makes the most sense. In fact, I think I'm just going to line them up right about there, just to sort of watch the edge of that island. Over this way, we have all of these guys as well, which is great news. So we have you guys with the 2 scorpions, the 1 catapult, and the armor. You guys have the archers and the sails. I think we just move. I probably could have taken on a pirate fleet, to be completely honest, but it's fine. What's done is done. It's not the end of the world. Anyway, my thought process there was we do probably want to get our hands on a civilian cargo ship. So I'm thinking we go ahead and do some of this. I think we don't do the armor because we can't do the armor here. But having a slightly faster ship is probably not a terrible idea. So I'm going to go ahead and construct this. It's going to take about 10 minutes to do. And that can be set up as the ship that's going to start moving the oysters and the minerals and all that good stuff from this island to our main one. And I guess speaking of which, we are going to need to get some gold. Fortunately, we have 2 river slots right next to each other right there. And for the minerals, I'm going to say there. And I'm going to say, ooh, those are all quite a bit away. Yeah, we'll do here, and that'll be fine. What do we need to construct here? We are going to need clay. We're going to need concrete. That's going to be kind of a pain for you. It's the same thing. We're going to need clay and concrete. So let's do we only have 2 river slots in this island? You're kidding me. Am I really going to have to bring clay over here? I think I might. Okay. As for concrete, it is also, it's a harbor area and a mountain slot. So the concrete would be doable, which is interesting. Huh. Do I want to make concrete here? I don't 100% know that I do. I also, the other harbor slot's way over here. Do we have one down there? We actually do. That's a really great little harbor spot. Okay. Let's, oh wait, I can build it out in the water, can't I? That slightly changes things. We could maybe get away with this. Interesting. So we are going to have to bring clay over here because I'm not willing to give up my, I need the gold production, right? That's kind of a given. I wasn't aware it was just 2 river slots. So I guess what we do is we get this new civilian ship, which is almost halfway done anyway. We set it up to move the minerals, the gold, and the other thing, the oysters, back to the main island. And then from the main island, we bring roof tiles and concrete. And that'll be fine. That'll probably work out. So let's go ahead and we have a decent bit of timber here. We can, at the very least, build you guys. We can build you as well. We'll build you, and I'm going to demolish you and rebuild you because it always does that weird little buggy thing when you build it from planning mode. So a depot, we want to build you right there. You guys don't have road connections right now, which is slightly frustrating. Let's just fix that, which solves that problem. And then I guess we just build a bunch of houses right here. We'll build those guys as well so that they're starting to get a little bit happier. And we are going to need to get them some things like the tunics and the hats as well. If we look into those, do we have the ability to build those here? We do have hemp availability on the island, and obviously we can get sheep as well. So I think what we'll do is I'm just going to do sheep for now, I think. I think we stick with sheep. I think that's going to be the easier one. So let's do a little, I don't know, sheep farm thing here. This seems like kind of a fine spot for it. We just need to do 3 of these behind it. And then we can kind of clone this. And I don't know how many of these we actually need. I don't remember what the ratio was. 30 seconds, 1 minute. So 2 of these for every one of those. Yeah, that should be fine. So we can just go ahead and build 2 of these guys. We'll build one right here. We'll build the other one, I guess, right over here. And that'll be all right. That'll give us some decent coverage. This guy is going to need a little road connection. So let's try and get something that just makes sense. Let's go here into there. We'll bring this across, and I want to figure out, I guess the bridge for this space is probably going to be here, right? Yeah, that's 100% where that's going to be. That's fine. I don't know if you have a warehouse connection. So I'm going to build a new warehouse out here just to make sure that you do have a warehouse connection. Oh, and there we go. We do have our new civilian ship. So let's bring it up this way. Let's put it into this harbor and let's figure out what this trade route is going to be. So from the main island going to Neris right there, we want to say that from the main island, we're loading up on tiles and we're going to be loading up on, I want to say, concrete. We don't need a ton of those, but we can load up on those. This isn't, wait, what is this? It's Monopolis. Neris is the flagship. Monopolis is a cool name. I do like that. So we're going to unload those in Monopolis. Then at Monopolis, we're going to be loading up on minerals. We're going to be loading up on gold. We're going to be loading up on, I don't know why I'm saying on with such a weird accent, but there we go. We want to get the oysters as well and unload those back at the main island. So we'll establish that route. It is good to go. And it's going to take some time to get up and running because, again, we're going to need things like concrete and roof tiles. But we're getting there. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this little bridge built because we're going to be needing that. We are going to need to bring a little road sort of over here to connect to that river spot eventually. We'll bring this guy sort of down and through like this as well. And we might need another warehouse, but we'll see what happens once we start to get the materials in here that we need to build all of the things that I want to build. I suppose I should also work on connecting these mines while we're here too. So we'll bring this straight through. That actually looks like a pretty good warehouse spot as far as I'm concerned. Although I'm also kind of thinking here just because we can. So sure, I'll build a warehouse right there and that'll be fine. We're also going to need to connect you. So let's bring a little road kind of down. I want to say this way. I don't want to do it in a perfectly straight line, but something like that should be okay. And I think we can maybe build a warehouse just on this little stretch of road, which annoyingly, if I was to do this slightly differently, if I was to maybe get rid of this road and do the angle just slightly further down, I might be able to get that warehouse in the middle of the road, which doesn't matter at all. It just looks kind of better, you know? This looks kind of cooler than having it slightly offset. So sure, that's where the warehouse is going to live. And yeah, I think that looks good. That's totally fine. It looks great is what it looks. Let's go ahead and build some more of these guys. We do have some upgrades available as well, which we will absolutely need. I'm just not really in any... I'm not in a rush to get those because my priority is the production stuff. I will get those upgrades once I need those upgrades. Although I will say it does look like our first delivery has been made, so I should be able to go through and build these guys, which apparently I can't do. So let me get rid of you and then just eyedrop you into there, which is also still in planning mode. So let's just do that again without planning mode. So we get one of these guys. We are going to need some plebeian workers, which we can totally do here in just a second. Let's build a second one so that we know what we're dealing with. This guy, also same story. So get rid of you and then we will eyedrop you without planning mode into that spot. And over this way, we want to do exactly the same thing. We want to get rid of you and eyedrop you. I just bulldozed it. Good job. Good job. Let's get these guys in that spot and in that spot right there. And we do need some plebeian workers. So let's go ahead and make some upgrades to just a few of these houses. We don't have quite enough materials to do it. What do you guys actually need for those upgrades? It's timber. Okay, well, in that case, we have 8, so I should be able to upgrade 8 of you, which is totally fine. I do want to make sure these guys are relatively happy and healthy as well, so that is something we're going to have to stay on top of. But my priority, in all honesty, is just the gold. It's all the stuff that I want to do here. That's genuinely most of what I care about on this island. As whispers of war, poverty, and disease sweep the empire, the priesthood in the city of Lerna urge you to consult an oracle to soothe the restless population. The most prominent local oracle, an elderly and revered Sibyl of Apollo, demands a substantial sacrifice before revealing her divine prophecies. Do you wish to know the future? Well, that's a good question. We can ask about the future prosperity of the realm with a 50% success chance. On success, we get extra income. We get less upkeep cost for, 4 hours. That's Lerna. On failure, we get less belief. I don't love that. If we do military affairs, applied to Latium is morale and some bonuses to offense. We will get some reputation with the Emperor as well. If we ask about calamities, I'm not really too interested in calamities, to be honest. We'll go for this one because this has the potential to give us, this is to troops in province, which is basically pointless. But the reputation with the Emperor is kind of huge. I don't know if it was successful. I really have no idea, but you know what? That's fine. That's okay. I've also decided that we're going to build an extra training pier down here and a repair crane because we have a lot of boats that come in here to trade. And so having the option for them to go here doesn't seem like a terrible idea, since, they do occasionally have to queue up otherwise. But coming back to our main island, we are now bringing back minerals, obviously. We're bringing back gold as well. So what that says to me is we can go ahead and build a goldsmith. We can go ahead and build a jeweler. And this seems like a pretty good idea. Now, I could refer to my chart for this. That is certainly an option. Oh, wow, the gold washer is 4 minutes. Oh. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. Not a fan. This island here has, 8 river slots? We might need to set up... We need more. We need to use all of these. We need to use all of these to bring gold back to the main island is what I think we need to do. I genuinely think we need to do this. I really, really do. We could also bring minerals back, which is kind of huge, actually. Now, we are already doing that here, I've just realized, but utilizing the other 3 slots that we have available. Wow, we have a lot of slots available, actually. We could bring a ton of minerals back if we really wanted to, and a ton of gold. I think we're going to have to do that. I do. I think we're going to have to do that. But first, let's set up the goldsmith. This is going to give us less fire safety nearby whichever buildings we place it near. So I'm going to place it out here because this just seems like a good spot for it. And it's a pretty good looking building in all honesty. It's not terrible looking. So we'll place it right here. That'll be fine. And then the jeweler itself also reduces fire safety but increases prestige. Is it? It's not a great looking building. I could just probably place it somewhere out here if I really wanted to, which I'm kind of thinking I will. The fire safety in this part of town just sucks. So I'm just going to build a jeweler out here and kind of leave it out here. And so that should, because we're bringing the gold back and because we're bringing the minerals back, we should be able to start making jewels, I think. And that should be good. Now you're going to need minerals, quite a few of them. You're going to need gold, quite a bit of it, and charcoal as well, of which we have a lot. So the charcoal I don't think is going to be a problem. I think everything else is going to be a problem. So let's head back over here and let's take some major steps towards gold, basically. So this guy is going to go and have a little road right here. Although that does mess with, that's annoying. Okay. I don't love that we're messing with this building. Not a huge fan of that. I kind of need my apiaries to be up and running. So can I move you to a spot that's going to work nicely? I can kind of move it back out here, which is not the worst place in the world for it. Can I do another one just sort of over and next to it? Is that going to be an option if I put you right about here or there? No. So that overlap's not cool, apparently. Interesting. All right. Can I do a road up the side of this apiary? Why can I not click on roads? There we go. Can I do a road here that doesn't mess with it? Apparently not. Okay. That's good. Can I do this? I totally can. All right. That works nicely. We're going to need a warehouse in this space just to make sure everything is up and running as well. And that gives us some gold on this island, which we didn't have before. Now for more gold production, man, this is just gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot to do here. We're gonna need one of these guys down here. We're gonna need a road that comes out and around these farms, or maybe just like this would make more sense. And then another warehouse, basically, to have this guy. Is that the middle of that road? I don't know if it is. It doesn't matter. We need a warehouse there. So that's 2 sites of gold production on this island, or gold panning, I guess, is probably what it is. We're going to have 3. We're going to have 4. We've got these 2 up here. There's so many of them, which is honestly kind of fantastic. I'm not 100% sure what the best way to connect these all together is going to be, but I am 100% sure that my gold production is going to go through the roof here. Okay, so just like that, we have all of those river slots occupied, which is fantastic. We are going to need to upgrade some of the houses around here, but first things first, we have a request from the Emperor. Oh, that's a lot. This would, admittedly, we are starting to make oysters with caviar. The fine glass I'm slightly concerned about. Wow. That's... I mean, an hour and a half to do that is not bad. This will max out my reputation with the Emperor, which could be kind of huge. Sure.
No messing around.
We're going to try it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try it. And we're going to hope for the best. Now, let's do a mine for minerals down here. Let's do a mineral mine over here. Let's do a mineral mine over here. Let's get all these guys connected together. And I think the minerals that we're mining here are actually going to go towards things like the fine glass. So this is actually not the worst thing that we could be doing with our time, which is good. So this little mess that I'm doing with this island is actually going to go a long way towards that particular little thing. I'm trying to justify just doing all of this is what I'm trying to do right now. But we have that connection, which is great. Apparently that does give us a warehouse connection. So let's just bump the population out here so that we can hopefully get into a bit of a good spot. We'll bring this over to here, which is fine. We'll do a little something something here, which is also fine, and surround both of those guys with some roads. We can then go in here and upgrade all of you, which gives us enough workers for everything that I've got going on. And so now we should have a ton of gold production, and we should have a ton of mineral production. This is a ship that I have on a trade route that is doing what exactly? It is moving sandarak, it is moving honeycomb, it is moving minerals. No, it's not, it's moving pigments. Oh, I didn't think about that. Huh. So that could complicate things. Where are we making pigments on this island? Where do we need pigments? I'm assuming togas. No, it's not togas. It's going to be in here. Are we making pigments? We don't make them here, do we? Or am I just, oh, we do. Oh, that's going to complicate things. We should end up with a massive surplus of minerals regardless, because we have way more mineral production than we need. So I think what we're going to do is, first off, repair. No, that building doesn't need repaired anymore. Okay. Okay. This slightly complicates things. Let me look at my trade routes and see what my options are. So this one, island storages are empty. This good cannot be loaded. This storage is empty. Okay, so we are still... We should start making more of those, which is fine. Right. This trade route, I'm not too worried about. This trade route is nicest to Monopolis and back, Can I then send it down here? So it goes to Capitolini. I don't know why it's concerning itself with these. That's odd. I don't need these here. Well, is that because of the order I've got these in? So after Monopolis, I need it to go to Nisus specifically. Hold on, what is going on here? Well, delete these. So it starts in Nisus where it loads up these things. It goes to Monopolis where it loads up these things. It goes then back to Nisus where it unloads those and then goes empty to Capitolini where it's going to pick up a bunch of gold. And I want to say that 2 of the storage compartments can be gold and also minerals. And maybe only 1 set of minerals. Then after Capitolini, it can go and unload all of those things. I don't need it to unload oysters. That's not what I need it to do. So after Capitolini, go back to Nisus and unload those goods. And then from there, it should be loading up on things and heading back around, I think. So we'll establish that. I've got no idea if that's going to work out. I've got no idea if that's going to be effective. I mean, it's 1 ship doing all that stuff, which is not really ideal. So maybe we go and get another trade ship. Maybe that's the idea here, is we grab another one of these guys. Once it's built, we can put it on that trade route and just see what happens. I'm relatively content with the idea that this is not going to be super effective, but I just hope for the best is what I'm doing. I'm also curious to see how much fine glass stuff we have here. 320 actually is not bad. No oysters with caviar is to be expected, but we have a bit of time here. So let's have a look and see what we need for the oysters with caviar. So the oysters we're doing, the sturgeon thing, are we even... Oh, it's a river slot for sturgeon. You are kidding me. Okay, we're going to import sturgeon is what we're going to do. Just because I feel like we need to. We're just going to import it. It's going to be so much easier. So sturgeon is probably an agricultural thing. It absolutely is. Let's just import up to, buy one under 150. And that'll be fine. We've already imported some, which is great news. So we're going to do that. We're going to turn it into caviar, and that's completely fine. This thing actually doesn't have any negative impacts on the spaces around it. So let's just build it up here, I guess. And I don't know how many of these we're going to need. So I'm just going to build... I don't even know what way to build this thing. I'm going to build it here, and I'm going to build one here. We're going to have 2 of those, and we'll see what happens. This guy, the Epicure of Water, the kitchen, is a minute in terms of production. Again, I don't know how many of these we would need. It is going to give us population and health nearby. It's a pretty decently sized building with a pretty good area of effect on it as well. So this will give us a really nice bump to health if I can find somewhere good for it, which would be this corner, perhaps? I think that corner could be good. I'm also kind of thinking that in here could be kind of good for it. So I'm going to take out a bunch of these buildings for a second. I'm going to take out this surface as well, and we'll just see if we can do this. We'll build this guy, I want to say right there. I want to put some roads around it, just a little something like this. And can I get some residences in some of the spaces that we have left over here? We can get, sort of. we can get a couple in there if we really wanted to. We'll get 2 right there, and we'll get, I guess, 2 right there. Those can be upgraded at some point. This guy, we should have, and we do have oysters on the island. We don't have caviar, but once we start importing, and we are importing sturgeon, we are making caviar. So we should start to make the, whatever this is, the oysters with caviar, of course. That makes sense. So that should make them happy. Hopefully we can stockpile that. Hopefully we can take it to the Emperor. If we can't, then that's going to be problematic, but we'll figure it out. In terms of ships and all that good stuff, I mean, once this thing's done, we'll put it in that one trade route and see what happens. And then in terms of this island, I mean, if we look into the storage here, I'm curious to see what we're looking like. A ton of minerals, a little bit of gold, not bad. Looking up this way at our new island, we should be able to build you and upgrade you, which is great news. And looking in here, we have a little bit of mineral, no gold. Do we have any oysters? We have a couple. Okay, well, this place could be going better, but that's all right. This is getting somewhere. Capitolini wants to have extra income from bakeries, vintners, and breweries. Sure, we can do that. That's fine. Oh, there we go. We have this new boat. It is heading out to start doing some trade between all of those islands that I've got set up to trade stuff. I'm so good at words. But yes, that boat will be the second on that route. Hopefully that helps us out a little bit. I've started moving all of my military boats back down here as well. So we're going to start reestablishing the blockade is what we're going to try and do. It's not necessarily going to be as effective because we do only have the one line of boats at the moment, but the goal is going to be that we eventually get as many as we had previously, if not more, and we will try for this island again, which is fully repaired for the most part. It's back up to almost full strength. I would imagine that means most of the turrets are back up, which is really, really unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate that that's happened, but it is what it is. There's not really anything we can do about that. This little boat, though, I want to bring it around here because I would like to track this, and I want to see if I can start moving some fine glass onto this little boat here, because we're going to need to make 2 trips with this fine glass to deliver it to the Emperor. But at the very least, we can get this out of the way because it's going to be 2 trips with this one boat. Obviously, I could use some of the bigger ones if I wanted to. I could use my flagship, actually. Would probably not be a bad shout. But we have time. We have about an hour, which, all sped up, it's going to be a little bit less than that. But the fine glass doesn't worry me. What worries me is the oysters with caviar. I'm not convinced that I'm going to be able to... I'm not convinced I'm going to be able to do that. I might have to import it. In fact, I think I'm going to say buy when under 500 for now, which is going to mean spending a ton of money, but that's just what it is. You are not getting money for you want 200,000? Get out of here. Get out of here. Absolutely not. So I suppose while we have all of this other stuff going on, we can move towards wrapping things up for today by continuing construction on the Amphitheater. Now, this is going to be a lot of materials. This is also going to slow down my boat construction, which I'm not thrilled about, but we should be okay. We do, at the very least, have 411 concrete, which is more than we need. Do we have enough tiles? We don't. Is that because I'm sending tiles up here? Almost certainly. almost certainly that is why. That is, oh man, that's a lot of tiles. That's a lot of tiles. Maybe we should not look at the transfer menu, but instead look at the trade route for this guy, because I get the feeling we probably don't need to do this anymore. We don't need to do this anymore. And instead we just go from Monopolis to Nisus to Capitolini to Nisus. I think we can get away with that. I don't think we need to be doing the whole the tiles and the concrete thing anymore. I think this island is pretty good as it stands right now, and that should make things a little bit easier for us back at the main island in terms of the roof tiles. Also relatively sure that this thing's going to be slow because of the marble situation. Not too sure how the ropes situation is going to go, but I do know that I'm not going to be building any ships for a minute, so I think that's fine. Oh no, this is good. We actually have 234 tons of oysters with caviar in here, so I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to send this guy over to this island to do what it needs to do, and I want to grab my flagship and bring it up here, because we're going to see if we can transfer everything to the Emperor right away, and in doing so, we can actually complete this request right now, maxing out our reputation with the Emperor, which I think is going to put me in kind of a fantastic spot. And then all we need to do is get 234 tons. Now, unfortunately, I can only bring 200 with this guy, which I didn't really consider. I'm not going to lie. Did not consider the fact that I wouldn't be able to bring everything, but 200 tons is nothing to sniff at. We can bring that up this way and maybe borrow another ship just to get that remaining 34. I think we'll borrow you just because I can, and then we'll send everybody back to the front line once we do this. Like I said, I'm just interested in maxing out my reputation with the Emperor. I want to be untouchable. That is my goal. I am going to be untouchable simply because, I mean, first off, everybody but the pirates happens to love me, and the Emperor is about to love me as well. So let's drop off the remaining fine glass that we have to deliver, and then we'll send this little boat. I don't really know what to do with this little boat, if I'm honest with you. This is the Arbalest. Oh, my ship's is under attack. Oh, wait, is that my flagship? That is not. That is, why are you? Oh, that's one of my that's one of my trade boats. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if I can put the Arbalest on that trade route though. I'm curious to see, not necessarily this one. It could be good on this one. I don't know what use it would be on this one, if I'm completely honest with you. It is, yeah, it can't serve those routes. So I don't think you can actually do that. I think the route has to be established for that boat. So what we'll do with the Arbalest then is just bring it back here and just sort of leave it, I guess, which is fine. It can chill. It can do what it's doing. There are so many boats out here. Good Lord. Anyway, we can load this guy up with 10, 20, 30, and 1, 2, 3, 4 oysters. We can then go in and say that in terms of trading, we only want to buy this when under, say, I'm going to say 100. So we're buying way less of that, which is fine by me. This guy's then going to head down here, and we're going to try and make this trade is what we're going to do. So you get the 200 oysters, and you can head back to the down to here is what you can do. And so with this last delivery, we should have now maxed out our reputation with the Emperor. We now get the title of Consul. So what does this do? I have been officially, the Emperor has seen fit to reward you for your services to the Empire. You have been officially promoted to the position of Consul. You are free to decline, but the Emperor will not be pleased. This title grants the following privileges. You can force other governors to be your specialists, even if you're not allied. This will reduce the reputation costs for war declarations, and it gives me a defensive alliance with the Emperor. This will globally reduce the island settlement cost by 75%. That would have been useful about an hour ago. Okay. Yes. So if I accept this, good. If I don't, the Emperor won't be happy. Sure. Absolutely. Don't abuse it. Absolutely doing that. That's kind of fantastic. I want to grab all my military ships though, because I would like to offers me a treaty. Interesting. I want to move all of my ships just across here, just so that they're all in a good spot. What do you want? A ceasefire. I decline. I'm not going to upset the Emperor at this stage of the game. That's not going to be happening. If we look at diplomacy then, and I go to you, so oh, interesting. So if I had a ton of money, I could potentially turn you into a specialist, which is interesting. That's, okay. This requires a specific discovery. I just need a ton of money to be able to do that. What about you? What would I need for 6.4 million? Okay. And for you, 6.3. Interesting. What do you want? Ceasefire treaty, not gonna happen by any means. Absolutely not happening. And I guess as it stands right now, we're not actually researching anything, so let's just add some researches to the list because we can. So this will let me place the Albion coastal production buildings in the water. We might as well do that. This will let my aqueducts benefit mines, which I guess we'll do that. We can't get all the rest of these, but that's fine. This lets me build more specialist office things, more shrines. This gives me whatever that is. We're just gonna grab everything, I guess. We'll do large loans, large gifts. That's all fine. This gives us belief from whatever that is. Again, I'm just gonna sort of grab everything. More offices is fine. This gives us Epona. Absolutely, sounds fantastic. Garum demand in Albion. Not really sure I want to do that right now. Beer demand in Latium. Not entirely sure I want to do that right now either. That does not seem like a good idea. Going for all of this stuff though, absolutely might as well do it, just because it's available and because it's going to stack up a bunch of research, which is hopefully going to take a bit of time and stop the game from complaining that I'm not doing any research. Also, we have more boats, which is fantastic news. Anyway, I think that's going to do us for today. This episode has wound up being... Is it even worth me saying that episodes are longer than I wanted it to be? That's kind of just the norm these days. That's kind of just how the channel works. But yes, this episode wound up being a little bit longer than I expected. I did mention recently, both in episodes of this series and also in a community post on the channel, I talked about sort of where my end game idea is for Anno. And I want to take a second here, just at the end of this episode, to be kind of completely honest with you about where my head is with regards to this game and the channel as of right now. Now, just to be completely clear, I am having an absolute blast with Anno 117. I'm really enjoying this. I think Endless Mode was absolutely the right pick for my first jump into an Anno game. I feel like I know tons more about this than I did at the beginning, which is good because we're like 22 hours into this campaign so far. And having done some reading about Endless Mode, we're kind of, we have an opportunity to probably put another 20 to 30 hours into this if we really wanted to. I just don't know that I really want to do that. And again, in the spirit of being completely honest with you, there's kind of two reasons for that. Reason number one is that I'm not all that interested in ground combat. I just don't know what it is. It doesn't feel appealing to me. That's not to say we're never going to do it. There is every not opportunity, but there's every possibility that I might, when I sit down to do the next episode, decide that we're gonna just get a bunch of ground troops or gonna go invade something. But I'm sort of looking at the position we're in right now as almost being a diplomatic victory, if we use like a term from like Civilization, because we're in an alliance with everybody. We are the Emperor's Consul. We are now in a position where theoretically we could go and force someone to become our specialist. This feels like kind of a diplomatic victory. Admittedly, I don't know what the victory conditions are in this game, so it's possible that an actual like diplomatic Anno victory is the process of actually going and taking over those other islands by means of forcing them to be specialists. I don't know if that's a thing. It could be. I don't know that I'm 100% sure that I want to do that. I'm just kind of really enjoying the vibes with Anno 117. I'm kind of just enjoying doing whatever I want to do. But I would be lying if I said that it wasn't getting a little bit repetitive, and that's part of where the second kind of issue comes up. And the second issue is unfortunately a little bit of a YouTube kind of how the sausage is made kind of thing. And I hate these kind of reasons because I'm not typically this kind of person, but I need to look at the numbers and I need to look at what the game's doing for the channel. And unfortunately, I mean, look, the view numbers, the like numbers on these videos are publicly visible to everybody. You know, compare how Anno is doing on the channel to something like Town to City and probably City Skylines in the near future. City Skylines 2, by the way. And it's not doing well for the channel. I don't think this is the kind of game that is really ever going to do particularly well on this channel. And that's okay. I want to stress that I'm not, it's such a pain. I hate having to think this way. I really do. I didn't make this channel to only chase stuff that's super popular. I'm not that guy. But with so many of the changes that YouTube have made to the platform in the past year especially, it's gotten so much more important that individual videos perform as well as they possibly can, because YouTube doesn't care about old videos anymore. It doesn't care about legacy videos or viewers or anything like that. It just doesn't. So putting out a video, that's part 10 or part 15 or whatever of a long ongoing series that's not performing particularly well, it impacts the channel in a negative way, and that's all on YouTube's side. It didn't used to be like that. There used to be a totally different way of approaching this stuff that made series like this sustainable long-term. Now, to be fair, I'm going back a couple of years when I talk about this, but basically these days, YouTube will grade your video on a scale of 1 to 10, and the better it performs, the more it gets recommended to everybody. It seems like, and has done for a while, that when one video massively underperforms, the rest of your videos are going to struggle for at least a couple of days. Whereas in the past, you were kind of able to put out like one video that didn't do very well, as long as you kind of put out another one that did. So going way, way back on this channel, you could look at like City Skylines was the bread and butter. It was the game that really propped up the channel. And then a game like Anno 1800 could be played alongside that. You can't really do that anymore. YouTube doesn't work that way anymore. And unfortunately, a game like Anno 117, YouTube doesn't care that I enjoy this. As a platform, it doesn't matter that I enjoy this. The all-powerful algorithm does not care in the slightest. It just sees the numbers, it just sees it underperforming compared to other things on the channel, and as a result, it negatively impacts the channel as a whole, and it is basically YouTube saying, hey, dance monkey dance, play City Skylines, play Town to City. That's all it cares about. So this being my job, this being how I pay my bills, this being all of that stuff, and hopefully that makes sense. I do have to make business decisions from time to time, and Anno, unfortunately, it doesn't matter that I enjoy this. It's really negatively impacting the channel. So all of that is to say that this will wrap up probably around the time that the monument gets built, and we're gonna go do some other stuff. I have games like Software Inc. that I'm planning. I have a mod that I've been looking at for a while. I have a couple of other games that I want to dabble in over the course of the next few weeks and as we go into the new year. And I do want to play more Anno 117, but what I might end up doing is we wrap up this campaign. We will do an Albion one. That's probably going to be a live stream thing. If and when that happens, I will let you know on my socials, on the Discord server, on the YouTube community page. I will let you know when that's happening as a live stream, and I will let you know where those videos get uploaded to after the live stream. I might even stream it to YouTube itself. I might do some multi-streaming stuff. I'm kind of dabbling in that idea as well. But I hope that makes sense. I hope all of that makes sense. I hate having to make these decisions. I didn't make this channel to chase trends and chase algorithms, and it's exhausting having to do this because it's not who I am. But I'm in the unfortunate position of this is my job. I say unfortunate. I'm very lucky that I can call this my job. I'm very lucky that I can still call this my job after a decade of it being my job. I've never been one of these guys that chases the trends. I just do what I want to do. I have fun with what I want to have fun with. I try and put my own little flair into whatever it is that I'm doing, and I hope that people enjoy it. And it pains me because I know people do enjoy this series. I know there are people, I see your comments every episode. I see the same people coming back. I do, and I appreciate it. And I feel, I don't really swear on this channel very often, if at all. I feel like shit having to make a decision like this because it doesn't feel fair, not on me, but on the people that watch it. Because if this platform worked the way I want it to, that would be what's important, is the people that are watching. But every year, YouTube steps further and further away from that. You as a creator don't matter. You as an audience don't matter. What matters is, did this video outperform the last one? And will your next video outperform this one? And if it doesn't, be prepared for all of your videos to take a hit because your channel's dead now. That's not why I got into making videos, and it's really frustrating that this is now a place that creators find themselves in. I don't like it, but it's unfortunately where we are, and it's unfortunately where YouTube is as a platform. But with all of that said and done, with everything out of the way, bit of a ramble, bit of a rant, more than a ramble, I suppose, at the end of this one. I hope that makes sense. I don't feel good having to make that decision. That's all I can say. I do want to play more of this. I will try to make everyone as aware as I possibly can when we do. I mean, this series is still going to keep going. We are going to try and get the monument built. We're going to try and do a couple of other things. I do want to take out that pirate island, maybe a thing or two over in Albion as well. But yeah, once we get into the Albion series, that'll be a live stream thing. I will keep you posted. That's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And thank you for watching the series so far. Like I said, it's going to keep going. I do appreciate it. I do see you. I see the same names in the comments all the time. So I don't think that this isn't a you thing. This is just it's a shitty YouTube thing that I'm not happy about. Anyway, this has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.